Back at it again. We're just doing the usual from now on, though it's a little bit different. No more fun stuff, really. Fun stuff is no more. When it comes down to it, from now on, we're just an F-list channel. No more fun F-list channel. No. What we do is talk about ethics and play things related to F-lism and review things from F-list perspective. Because I'm just tired of wasting time. It's too much waste. Too much people being wasteful. Requesting content that I just couldn't care to make. Just, So, yeah, we're ignoring the idiots from now on. We're being productive. Before in the past, I was like, you know what, maybe we'll humor some idiots. You know, if we humor the idiots, it'll draw them in. And then once they're nibbling on the worm, you just give it a little yank and hook them. And then, yeah, start reeling them in. You know what I mean? You basically let them have their little, whatever, idiot content draws them in, and then you start teaching them ethics. But no. Idiots are just too fucking stupid, so there's no point. You just may as well stay on topic the whole entire time. You don't even let them get distracted either. They fucking learn or they don't learn. You don't let them idiots stay around and sit around your fucking sphere. No, you drive them off. Either they fucking want to listen or they don't. And they leave. That's the way it should be. You don't entertain stupid.
That there are good versus evil people.
I've never met anybody except for a completely religious, insane person who sits there and thinks criminals are criminal because they're evil. No, they're profoundly and catastrophically stupid, asshole. It's good versus stupid, fuckhead. And you're one of the stupid. You stupid fuck. We already have a Holocaust. The fact that we're all fucking wage slaves to a peach a day or something is enough of a fucking Holocaust. 65 people have as much wealth as 3.7 billion. Giant hunk of the human race is eating garbage right now. Real, factual garbage. This is how the world crumbles into shit. This is why all these smart people can't figure out anything. Is it because you people have obviously been drinking lead paint or something? The agony and the ecstasy, you know,
Because I know
the
there's
thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, triumph and complete and colossal failure. Yeah, we get it. Most people with a brain get it, I think. That's the dilemma, though. We're these silly, stupid, competitive monkeys, and we have this big brain, and the problem is the brain figures out, the only game in town is checkers. This really is just find a hole and stick your dick in it. There's just nothing else to do here. This is a stupid fucking game. It's silly, stupid, idiotic. Chase your fucking silly projected desire. You have a failed program. Your brain is full of shit. It's not just that it's Windows 95 and it sucks. It's full of viruses of, what's in it for me? I'm as dumb as a crocodile. I can't figure out how to be something other than it. Yeah, I otherized that because it's a fucking drooling retard, you fucking idiot.
That sounds
Your
like
program
an video.
Sucks.
Let's see. He's an idiot. He's an idiot, so I don't expect much from his content, believe me. He's fucking so stupid. Oh, okay, there we go.
As you all know, I did a video in which I addressed every section of the book Better Never to Have Been where the word animal was used. And as you all know, it is my opinion that Better Never to Have Been presented a very poor case for veganism. So I have been attacked by vegans for my stance against veganism. And
Where's this thing? Here we go.
There once lived two brothers, Cain and Abel. While Abel complied with God's demand for an animal sacrifice, Cain tried to turn God vegan by attempting to trick God with a plant-based substitute.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
There once lived two brothers, Cain and Abel. While Abel complied with God's demand for an animal sacrifice, Cain tried to turn God vegan by attempting to trick God with a plant-based substitute. God was not amused by Cain's deception. God favored Abel and condemned Cain to hell. Cain then attempted to convert Abel to veganism so that he would be miserable and hangry, just like him. When Abel refused, Cain deleted him. Cain produced offspring to aid him in spreading his evil. They are known as the vegan mafia. All vegans are spawned from the seed of Cain. Just like Cain, the goal of all vegans is to make us hangry and miserable just like them. Through bullying, shaming, and miseducation, they hope to spread their misanthropic eating disorder among all mankind. If these vegans are not stopped, we will all end up malnourished and with a leaky gut. Together, we can stop the vegan mafia.
Hello, everyone. This is Stop the Vegan Mafia,
Hello,
the channel which eats vegans for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I'm going to quickly discuss why I think veganism is compatible with anti-natalism. And this is based on my understanding of Schopenhauer. People are saying that if you're anti-natalist, you should go vegan.
Yeah.
I don't think you can be both a vegan and an anti-natalist because they have two opposing agendas.
Do they?
So first I'm going to start out by reading this definition of veganism.
Protecting animals.
Veganism is a philosophy and way of life which seeks to exclude as far as possible and practicable all forms of exploitation and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose, and by extension promotes the development and use of animals, free alternatives for the benefit of animals and humans and the environment. Sorry, I'm reading way too fast. In dietary terms, it denotes the practice of dispensing with all products derived wholly or partly from animals. Okay. So the definition of veganism only deals with animal exploitation, right? The goal is to reduce animal suffering. It doesn't include human suffering whatsoever, or it doesn't entail human suffering. The reason why I think veganism is completely incompatible with anti-natalism, and I'm getting a lot of flack. I'm getting feedback from people, which a lot of people are not too fond of David Benatar. They're not too fond of Better Never to Have Been. Most people haven't read it, but when they actually understand, or when I discuss it, then there's like, oh, I don't agree with that. Like David Benatar is full of shit. And I don't know. I guess I give a lot of respect and deference to David Benatar only because he is the person who basically, I was always against procreation, but David Benatar is the one who actually exposed me to the world of anti-natalists, which basically connected me to others who were against procreation. But David Benatar got it wrong, I think. He got it wrong, especially, first of all, he's already said that he's not a pessimist, or he basically left it open. He never stated, someone asked him directly, are you a pessimist? He said, well, if you were to ask those who know me, they would say that I'm not pessimistic, right? So he didn't say definitively whether he was a pessimist. Okay, so you have to go back to.
Oh yeah, if you ask people who I know, they're gonna say I'm an optimist also at times. I mean, I've been called an optimist more than I've been called a pessimist. So, I mean, so what? I consider myself a pessimist. People consider me an optimist. I'm like Benatar in that way.
Source, because David Benatar did not come up with this. You have to go to the source, the origins of pessimistic philosophy, which is Schopenhauer, right? So maybe I need to re-air that video I did about the will to life and the will.
Just because something's the origin doesn't mean it fucking matters. Like the end all be all. Charles Darwin is the origin of evolution, but I don't cite Charles Darwin. No self-respecting evolutionary biologist cites Charles Darwin. You're gonna cite fucking like Richard Dawkins or like fucking, I don't know, some other evolutionary biologist from the 20th century. You're not gonna cite the fucking original source. They might have some good things here and there, because obviously evolution is like based off of Charles Darwin's speciations and stuff like that. I mean, like origin of species, like a lot of it's like still viable. But if you're gonna get into the nitty gritty, you're not gonna use Charles Darwin. Same with I mean, I think Schopenhauer got most of it right, but his whole metaphysics, like the will to live and all that bullshit, is fucking silly. It's silly. We all know it's silly. It's a religion, basically. There is no fucking will.
Overall, the reason that veganism is incompatible with anti-natalism is because it doesn't account for the will. This is a metaphysical.
Oh, yeah, there he goes. There he goes.
There's a metaphysical component which is missing from veganism.
The metaphysical component.
I'm not saying that you need to believe in God, but there has to be a source. There has to be an origin to understand the difference between right and wrong.
No, there isn't.
And
no,
the will to life explains.
Yeah, there needs to be some direct experience, like a will, like a God. Yeah, sure thing, bud. I don't need a fucking will to know what things are bad, okay? I feel it. When I feel pain, I feel that it ought not to occur for myself. And then through fucking logic, I can understand, just as like your $5 is equal to my $5, your pain is equal to my pain. It's not like you have anything that makes you any more or less special than myself, but I acknowledge that my pain fucking sucks and ought not to occur. I feel it as such. So, wow, it's almost like you really fucking don't need a god. You don't need some cosmic will. Ooh, the will. Schopenhauer declared it, so therefore Daddy Schopenhauer's right. No, fuck you.
The reason that veganism is a problem is because it doesn't account for the will, which the will, according to the will, the consumption of animals and plants is the same will. It's the same thing. They don't understand that.
Because
everyone's
it's alive,
me
it's
because
the
they think that
same
I'm mean or I'm
fuck
what
you. Oh my, there's no difference between any washing your hands and fucking torturing a goddamn pig. No difference, none, because they're both alive. They both are part of the will to life, the cycle of life. Fuck nervous systems. Nervous systems mean nothing. You know, all those cells arranged in a complex fashion, billions of years of evolution, just because. Why? It doesn't make sense. Nothing. There's no reason behind it. There's a will. There's a will, and that takes care of everything. In fact, if there's some unconscious will driving everything, what's the point of evolution, my friend? If this will's taking care of everything, all nice and dandy, if it's the source of everything, why have billions of years of evolution selecting for traits in an environment? Why have all these mechanisms in place? Because I see these mechanisms in place, and I understand that value is derived from them, that feelings fucking matter, and negative experience is fucking true and visceral. Visceral. You, on the other hand, I don't fucking get what you're doing here, Mr. Vegan Mafia. You're denying all experience and saying there needs to be some like fucking cosmic force going, ooh, fuck you, man. Fuck you.
Whatever, I don't care about. No, it's because I have a deeper understanding of what antinatalism is.
No, you don't.
A lot of people have not read David Benatar.
Antinatalism, by fucking definition, is believing it is wrong to bring sentient beings into existence. Being vegan, consequentially, guess what? If you're not purchasing for things through supply and demand, you are not bringing things into existence. You're not paying for things to be brought into existence through the breeding of livestock. You, on the other hand, you are encouraging things to be brought into existence via the breeding of livestock. In fact, you've dedicated your entire channel to stopping vegans, as pointless as that is. You say you're an antinatalist, but your whole thing is just woohoo vegans. So yeah, fuck you. You're not an antinatalist. You're not an antinatalist. You don't believe that it's wrong to bring things into existence. You just want to hop on a bandwagon. Fuck you.
Or Schopenhauer, they have a very superficial understanding of antinatalism, which is mainly based on emotions and based on what the majority thinks. I actually took it seriously and read it, and I understand that the consumption of animal products as well as the consumption of plants, it is part of the same will. The enemy is the will, which I guess Ethelists would say that it's DNA, but
yeah, it's not negative sensation. No, I mean, Ethelists will say it's DNA. Yeah, I mean, we say DNA because we just mean there's like a force of replication. Yeah, I mean, you can call it the enemy or whatever if you really want to. I don't say so. I say the enemy is negative sensation, and what's driving this is essentially an unconscious force. You can call it the DNA, but enemy is not the DNA per se. It's the enemy is negative sensation. The driving force is the DNA, but you act like that's a conscious thing. I don't. The DNA is nothing. It's just random mutation. Quote, random. And then mutation. The thing that matters is random. There's no consciousness behind it. It's just a random photon from the sun hits a DNA molecule, knocks a little thing off, boop, and now it's a little different, and they pass on that gene. Or when the coding, because in fact, it's so fucking shitty, this will, that it can't even get itself straight, because when it goes to pass on its gene, it fucking fucks up. It fucks up. It's trying to copy itself, and it fucks up. It doesn't do it perfectly, and therefore it makes a little bit of a different change. And it binds with the other thing, or if it's a cellular thing, it just a fuck up on itself. And then guess what? Whoop, they bind, and you got a new cellular organism, a mutation, so to speak. So it's just kind of like, yeah, evolution's random mutation. There's no will. It's not even good at doing what it wants to do. It's not even good at making copies of itself. It fucks up, and that's how you get speciation. It's shitty.
Gosh, if these people weren't so damn ignorant, they would have went back to Schopenhauer and they would understand it better. So they come up with this separate philosophy, which has already been addressed by Schopenhauer. It wasn't addressed by David Benatar, of course. Go back to the source. Schopenhauer addressed all this. So the will encompasses both plants and animals, all things, even including the inorganic matter, such as rocks, water, everything. Basically, it is
This
our
motherfucker's
strive
telling me that
for
water has a will.
The
The
continuity
conscious
of
water, man.
what is. And so
he's literally a pantheist. He's one of these religious kooks that thinks everything has order, man. The death of animals, the rape of your mother and sister, all it is the atoms bouncing together in the will. All things are in unity, striving for life and death. Fuck you, man. You're literally a pantheist. There's nothing new to your channel. You've been same bullshit. New channel. You're just like the fucking, what is his name? What's his name? Gary has attacked him like a bazillion of fucking times. Mystic, something mystic. I don't know, the mystic guy. You know who I'm talking about. That shitty old dude who's like, all like, oh, things are atoms bouncing around, so just go and rape people if you want. Doesn't matter. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, you literally are just a pantheist in disguise.
The problem with veganism is that they want to eliminate animal exploitation because they want this to continue, right? They think that this is the way to make things sustainable, to allow this hellscape to continue. Whereas for me, I recognize that consuming animal products causes animals to suffer, but with the understanding that I'm going to consume animal products, but this has to end at some point. This cannot go on forever. They have a completely different worldview. They want this to go on.
No, they don't. Not necessarily. No, not all vegans. If you're just a vegan, yeah, sure, you might be like, I want a more sustainable thing, and because veganism is more sustainable, therefore I'm vegan. Not all. If you're an antinatalist and a vegan, as you should be, yeah, you're not gonna want everything to continue on forever. So when it comes down to it, yeah, you're bringing things into existence. You are allowing for the sustaining of a closed pocket environment, a farm you are creating miniature worlds, basically. You are creating new worlds, new pocket dimensions, so to speak, where it's closed off and there's a bunch of suffering that doesn't need to occur, where things are brought into existence by a little god, humans. So when it comes down to it, you are not an antinatalist. You claim you want to end this tyranny of this world, that you want to somehow come to an end, yet you're bringing new little worlds for these creatures to suffer and inevitably die and just be used. So yeah, you're a fucking hypocrite. You're a piece of shit.
Forever. So they're going to continue popping out babies, even though they know that some or most of their offspring are not going to go vegan, and they're just going to continue this whole hellscape, this whole they're giving in to the will to life, right? They're not resisting it at all.
I agree that they're stupid. This I agree with. A lot of vegans just as vegans, are idiots. If you're a vegan antinatalist, great, okay, I have no gripes with you. If you're just an antinatalist and not a vegan, I have gripes with you. If you are a vegan and not an antinatalist, I have gripes with you. So basically, if you're just one of those two, I have a gripe with you. You're being logically inconsistent. If you care about the suffering of animals, you should try to prevent the source of suffering, aka birth. And if you believe in animal rights of some sort, or if you believe that, not antinatalist one, yeah. If you believe the birth is wrong, and the catalyst of all suffering therefore shouldn't occur, then guess what? You should also be vegan, because unfortunately, the supply and demand chain brings things into existence. So when it comes down to it, it's not an exclusive philosophy. It's both of them kind of entail each other. So, yeah, I don't know, man. People are just, they piss me off. Let's play the video.
Yes, you are resisting the will to life. And again, y'all, these people will say, well, you're consuming animal products, so you're contributing to the breeding of it. No, y'all don't understand. It's the same will. So whether you and I'm not personally breeding animals into existence, but even if you were to say that I am,
who gives a shit?
Breeding an animal into existence is the exact same will as you would be given into by planting a seed in the ground, by planting
There's a
tree.
fucking
It's
difference
the same will.
between a nervous system. Who gives a shit about the fucking will? Ooh, the will. I don't care. I don't care. What will? The DNA molecule? Oh, there's a DNA molecule. Who cares? There's DNA molecule in bacteria. If the world has bacteria in it, I don't give a shit. Bacteria does not feel. It is not arranged in a way that allows them to feel. It does not have a nervous system. There is no pain in a fucking cell individually. There are neurons. Those things are where feelings occur. Wow. Do you have any knowledge of science? Do you have any knowledge of science? Are you just some draconian idiot? Are you Yeah, I mean, you are. I mean, that's the title of the stream, isn't it? Yeah, idiots versus logic. He clearly is an idiot and doesn't have a logic.
So if I'm given into the will by consuming animal products that were bred into existence, then I would also be given into the will by consuming plants which were planted into existence, right? See, and they want to make this demarcation between sentience and
Yeah, there is a difference.
Sentience has no relevance when it comes to the will. The will
Who
is
gives a
the
shit about the
enemy,
will?
not sentience. And so the problem with veganism.
Last time I checked, I don't experience a will. I don't experience a will. Never felt this will. I never felt the presence of God. Maybe you're schizophrenic, you little fuck ass, but I'm not. I'm not crazy. I don't feel some force of God. I don't feel the force of the universe telling me to live. Every day, I want to fucking shove a knife in my own fucking throat and twist and pull it right out and watch the blood just gush out on the fucking ground and smile as the agony ripples through me and I just die. I just want to leave this fucking plane every fucking day, but I'm here trying to prevent the suffering. Prevent the suffering. Ooh. Ooh. Because that's what fucking matters, you cunt. Preventing suffering, preventing negative experiences. I'm not sitting here being all like, ooh, I'm scared of dying. No. Death, there's nothing to be scared of when it comes to death. There's fear of hell. Yeah, I fear hell. I fear pain after I die again. I feel I fear negative sensations. I don't fear non-existence. I don't fear this whatever fuck your will you're talking about. I don't fucking experience it. I don't, and neither do the animals. Neither does Benatar. Neither does a bunch of people. No one. Gary clearly doesn't experience your fucking will. I don't experience your fucking will, but you all experience pain. If I were to pry your fucking ribcage out of you and start shoving it into your fucking side, you'd be like, "Oh, that really sucks, Brent. You should probably not do that. I experience this as something that's bad and not to occur to me." And I'd be like, interesting. Wow. It's almost as if direct value is derived from experience. It's like you don't need a will for ethics. You don't. Who gives a fuck about your will? Because I don't experience your will. And even if it does exist, why should I respect it at all? Why should I give a shit what this will thinks or doesn't think? Why should I fight against it? Why should I support it? It's just there. You are trying to make enemies with something that I don't believe exists. You can fight your battle. You can fist fight the air all day if you want. If it makes you happy, go for it. But don't fucking cause suffering, direct suffering to other beings. Bring them into existence to suffer and die, and claim you're an anti-natalist with principles. Go fuck yourself.
Also is that so the goal of anti-natalists is to eliminate human suffering, right?
No, it's suffering
you
in
can
general.
include animals if you want to, but at the end of the
Do you
day,
want to?
humans come first. At least
Do they? Says who?
according to
You?
my understanding of anti-natalism.
According to your understanding of it? Fucking idiot. Benatar literally has a line in the book saying everything that here can be applied equally to animals. Animals have equal consideration. So, yeah, I'm going to consider them equally considered. When it comes down to it, they have directly experiences just like us. In fact, you can argue from perspectives that animals potentially could feel more pain than humans. What do you mean, Brant? How could animals feel more pain than humans? Well, we have understanding. We have the ability to understand pain will end. That it won't always be there in the same levels of torment that as before. That stressful situations always come to an end. That everything is basically in fluctuation. Animals don't necessarily have that understanding. In fact, we don't necessarily know if animals' nervous systems are even potentially more strong than ours. It would make a lot of logical sense that as you begin to have a more complex understanding of things, you don't need to feel things as visceral. In fact, you could use your logic to understand which situations you should try to avoid. So you might not need as strong of a nervous system as an animal does to signal which situations are good or bad. So there's very strong logical evidence that animals actually feel more pain than humans. So fuck yourself. There's no reason why we should prioritize humans over animals. You can't give me one besides just, oh, I feel this. Fuck your feelings.
Both based on Schopenhauer and David Benatar.
Because white people for what, thousands of years felt that they were more superior than you. Yeah. So fuck feelings. Feelings don't mean shit. There's logic and there's consistency and there's direct value. Fuck you.
Animals are relevant, but they're secondary. Humans come first. And so vegans are putting primacy
on... I don't believe you think that. I think you're saying that you're just bullshitting. Because if you thought they even came secondary, you wouldn't be fucking torturing beings to bring them into existence just for your taste buds and shit. If they came even remotely in some place, you would have more values than you do right now. But you don't. So I don't believe you have any values. I think you're just fucking shitting me. But whatever.
On animals.
Play it again.
Animal suffering comes first. Human suffering is not relevant. It's not even included in the definition. So
yeah, because we've been caring about it for fucking...
And they're not going to say this.
The dawn of time,
the way that it translate in real life, in real time, is they are effectively reducing animal suffering by increasing human suffering. So they know that. Well, I don't think they do know. You're a natural omnivore. Consuming animal products is a part of your natural diet. We have always existed by exploiting animals. We use animals to till the land.
Because
we use horses
do something. Is it okay?
Get
us
from point A to point B.
Bringing up the slavery thing? Dumb.
We use bees to pollinate plants. We use earthworms to fertilize the plants. We use animals to fertilize
we
plants.
Use children to take care of ourselves in old age. We've done it since the dawn of time. What's your fucking... who cares? We bring things into existence and we use them. We've done that since the dawn of fucking time. Now you're saying that we should make an exception for humans, and that humans we should be antinatalists for. But animals, for some reason, no, bring them into existence as much as you want, exploit them as much as you want, kill them as much as you want, because they are secondary. I don't know what secondary means to you, because it sounds like secondary just means, oh, yeah, there's humans, and they have all this value. And then if you're not a human, you're secondary, which I guess secondary doesn't mean like, no, you're just like, here's like the scale of value. Here's humans up here. Secondary to me sounds like they should be like, I don't know, up here or something. He's just like, yeah, just fucking slaughter them, do whatever the fuck you want with them. So I don't know. To me, it looks like secondary is fucking down here somewhere, because like you're just a lot of like fucking, you're just a lot of shove a knife in their fucking throat, I guess. Bring them into existence and shove a knife in their throat, kick them around a little bit beforehand. Like goddamn, if they're a rat, oh boy, if you're a rat, what are you, third? What happens if you're third? You just go to hell in your version? You go to rat hell? Like, what the hell?
So basically, no one can exist without exploiting. It's impossible. We all exploit animals. Now, you can say that you're limiting your exploitation of animals by not consuming animal products, but by simply existing, you are exploiting animals. So you're either given in to the will or you're resisting it. So at the end of the day, by being an anti-natalist, I am going against it, because I am not contributing to that. I am not breathing new life into existence and keeping this hellscape going on. And even Schopenhauer was human focused. Schopenhauer was not vegan, by the way. What Schopenhauer said was that you should consume food, both plants and animals, only to the extent that is necessary for your preservation and health. You shouldn't consume food for pleasure. You shouldn't just go around eating, being gluttonous. You shouldn't be, and really I think I should go to what do you call it? Food, the 12-hour fasting, because really I should go down to eating one meal a day, which would be more in alignment with what Schopenhauer said, that I should not consume food for pleasure, whether it is animal or
That I
plant-based.
respect. I don't eat very much, but when it
I
comes down to,
should
you
only
should get your
consume
source of meat if you want to by hunting.
food for proper nutrition, not for pleasure. I should not be snacking, all of that. This is according to Schopenhauer, right? David Benatar, I don't know. I don't know if he, I mean, of course he read it, but it's like the important part of antinatalism. He completely, I mean, I know his book wasn't supposed to be all encompassing, but I think he left a lot of important stuff out. And in order to fill in the gaps, you have to go back and read Schopenhauer, because even alphalists are saying, oh, well, David Benatar didn't address this. He didn't. Schopenhauer addressed all of it.
He doesn't
So
really
if you
address
think
all
that
of it.
David Benatar left things out, go back and read.
Schopenhauer addresses most things, but he's not a pro-mortalist. He didn't kill himself, obviously. I mean, he didn't even... He was just kind of like, if you want to kill yourself, go for it, buddy boy. But he wasn't a negative utilitarian. He didn't think suffering mattered. He's just talking about like this will and like rebelling against it. Like, he had problems of suffering, but he wasn't talking about like objective ethics and stuff. He's more like, I don't know. Like, I respect Schopenhauer. He got a lot right. But he didn't have everything right. Saying Schopenhauer got everything right is pretty fucking bold. Saying some dude 200 years ago got everything right, like, I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe it's possible, but that's fucking bold.
The will and its representation. Let me read these comments. I wouldn't say it's incompatible with it's just another subject area. No, well, I've been thinking about this, right? And again, this is not based on David Benatar, this is based on Schopenhauer.
So much
the reason that it's incompatible is because veganism gives into the will to life. They're not in opposition to it. So you can't.
How?
I don't think you can be vegan.
Oh. All you're saying is you should respect the rights of animals by not bringing them. I mean, when it comes down to it, unless you think though not define. I mean, I don't get it. Like, they're just saying you should respect the rights of animals. He thinks you should respect the rights of people. So unless respecting the rights of people violates this will, I don't see how it doesn't violate the will. There's no difference between a person and an animal. So, I mean, he's having differential treatment between people and animals. So basically, he's saying for some reason you can be an antinatalist and it doesn't violate, and think that continued life is fine for people, but not for animals. For animals, thinking they're fine to continue life or whatever and do their little cycle bullshit, that is, I mean, I guess anti-Schopenhauerian, I guess. It's just silly and stupid. I don't think the cycle is good. I'm not saying I do. I think it's horrible and fucked up and bad. I think a lot of vegans are idiots. They don't address animal suffering in the wild at all. But this guy is just disregarding all that and just talking about some silly ass will. So, fuck.
And also be an anti-natalist. When you look at the actual definition of it, it's about eliminating animal exploitation in order to keep this going, right? It's all about
it's not to keep it going.
Okay, so there's the ethical veganism, there's dietary, there's also environmental.
Doesn't have anything to do
From the environmental standpoint, it's all about sustainability. It's about reduction of whatever, having a smaller footprint so that you can keep this going. They're not even thinking about this coming to an end. They don't, I mean, it's not even a part of their agenda. Okay. They don't care about eliminating.
Just as there's like many reasons to be antinatalist, you can be an antinatalist Christian because you believe hell exists and you don't want to risk your child going to eternal damnation. You can be an antinatalist Buddhist and believe this cycle of reincarnation is bad, and so you should not bring vessels into be reincarnated, you know. You can be an antinatalist who believes in desire-focused ethics and that there's more desires being unfulfilled, or the asymmetry applies to desires, whatever. You could focus on pain. You can focus on need fulfillment. You can focus on, I don't know, whatever version of ethics you have. It works for antinatalism. Same thing for veganism. There are multiple reasons to be a vegan. I'd say there's like one good reason to be a vegan, because I'm a negative utilitarian, which is just like suffering focused reasons. But I mean, when it comes down to it, if it works as a consequentialist, I'm not going to complain. So, you know, I'm not going to bitch at the vegans for just being idiots that have faulty reasoning. I'm going to be like, good for you guys. I guess you're doing something right from the wrong reason. Could care less. But when it comes down to it, you are doing the wrong thing and for the wrong reason. So I do have problems with you, a lot of problems with you, Mr. Animal fucking vegan mafia cunt.
Human suffering. And like I was saying, I don't know if you caught me in the beginning, but the result of veganism is to reduce animal exploitation by increasing reducing animal suffering by increasing human suffering. That's why I'm saying it's incompatible. When you look at vegans, they're suffering. They're depriving themselves of proper nutrition. And I
don't believe that for a moment. But when it comes down to it, let's just say it's true. You're going to say that you're, I don't know, whatever nutrients that's apparently so important, I guess, because I don't feel this vital missing nutrient very much. And if at all. And when it comes down to it, there's plenty of people that have gone vegan for far longer than I have, actually way more like better healthy versions of the diet. I just kind of eat whatever is around, you know, like fucking fried noodles and shit. So if someone's actually trying to live a healthy version of a vegan diet, I'm sure they can do so fairly easily, because I don't even try and I'm feeling quite all right. So when it comes down to it, yeah, I don't have a doubt in my mind that you can live a healthy vegan diet, because I literally spend like my day eating like fucking fried noodles and bean paste and shit like that. Like if I can survive off of fried noodles and bean paste, like fuck, I'm pretty sure if you have a more viable vegan diet where you're like eating greens and lentils and shit, you can have no issue whatsoever. So
want to be addressing all these issues, how veganism leads to depression, the way that
you
they
fucking
have
cunt.
a
I was
lack of
depressed
empathy for
before I
humans,
had a
how
vegan.
they don't care about human suffering,
We care about
the way they attack people, the way that they have more empathy for rats than their own babies. They literally kill their own babies. I think it is incompatible, because you can literally kill a human being and still call yourself an ethical vegan, because according to that definition, it's only about animal exploitation. So I think it's completely incompatible. And I think that's where the disconnect is coming, that I have a deeper understanding of antinatalism because I actually read it. And these people are going based off emotions, feelings of, oh, well, you're consuming animal products, so I don't know when you came in, but according to the will to life, a plant is no different from an animal. So if I plant a seed, that is the same will to life. So if they're going to say that I'm contributing to life by consuming animal products that were bred into existence, they are also contributing to the will to life by consuming plants which were planted into existence. When they eat those soybeans or whatever they're eating, those lectins, they are contributing to the will to life. So if they're going to say that I'm a breeder or I'm a natalist, whatever they want to say, then they're contributing to the will to life.
It's
just
different.
By existing, we all are doing
between
that.
a nervous
That's
system,
what I'm saying. It's
a thing that feels, a thing that can suffer. This is a thing that can be raped in a plant. You can't rape a plant, okay? You fucking cunt. You can rape a fucking pig. You can rape a cow. You can rape a person. You know, things that feel pain, things that can suffer, things that can be violated. Can you violate a plant? Ooh, I violated the plant. No, you can't. You can't violate a fucking plant, because a plant's not sentient. A plant doesn't have parts like that. A plant is a fucking plant. You disingenuous cunt. You fucking piece of slimy shit.
incompatible because veganism is not in opposition to the will to life. The issue is when people try to act like anti-natalism and veganism are the same. It's not the same, and I think it's incompatible. But just like extinction isn't the only topic. Okay. Overall, yes, many vegans have very low priority for human well-being in comparison to animal suffering. Well,
No, there's
they
just
got triggered when I made that video.
quintillions of animal suffering right now. It's not that we don't think human suffering matters. No, we do. It's just, guess what? When it comes down to this, quintillions of fucking animals and only 8 billion people. Wow, I wonder, do you think 8 billion or a quintillion is a bigger number? Do 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 do. Oh wow. You apparently think 8 billion. Wrong answer. Let's try a new question. Do you think things suffer more when they have a roof over their head or when they're fighting to maintain homeostasis in a cruel environment? Fuck you. It's fucking shittier to be in the wild. Hence, there's more suffering in the wild. Hence, if you're vegan and you care about all sentient beings and reducing the harm maximally, you should probably prioritize, wow, animals. Wow, what a surprise. That's interesting. It's almost like there's a lot more suffering going on there, and therefore, no matter what perspective, if you're vegan, if you're utilitarian, if you're like a desire focused ethics person, if you're just being consistent in any fucking way, you'll understand that they also have those same things: pain, logic. I mean, not logic, sorry. Pain, desires, objective needs that must be met. Whatever theory you hold, an animal probably holds those same things of value, and that can through their experience. So when it comes down to it, you're just a piece of shit. You're just disregarding one thing of the equal. You're disregarding one thing's value because you don't have a reason. You don't fucking have a reason.
Because they have been telling me over and over that I need to get over my fear of rats. Rats are harmless. You should put the suffering of rats. Rats are sentient. Put the suffering of rats above human beings.
That's
But
not what
then
they're
when
saying.
I show that these rats are terrorizing people, it's not benign. People are living in hell. Because I even said I did a video saying, talking about asking everyone to tell me what their definition of hell would be. And I said that my definition of hell would be to live with rats, right? And they all said, oh, that's silly. Like rats are harmless. And it's like, no, look at that video or the live stream I did. Those people are literally living.
Well, I'm not gonna fucking disregard his version of hell. Like, if he's scared of rats, he's scared of rats. It's a silly fear. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's not a silly fear because it's a fucking silly fear. But when it comes down to it, people have silly fears. I think it's acceptable to have silly fears. I'm scared of syringes. If I was put in a hell full of syringes, I mean, they're not exactly causing me really any harm, are they? It's just like what? Like, it could be like fucking like saline water, and I would be still scared of it. Like, it doesn't make it harmful to me, though. It's saline water. It's only harmful because I have an artificial fear. Just like it's only harmful to you because you have a fear of rats. If you just satiated that fear, it wouldn't be that bad at all. It wouldn't be a harm. So when it comes down to it, there's a difference between a visceral physical agony and some type of fear that's like artificially there. But when it comes down to the feeling itself, the value is true and it is real. When it comes to the pain that you're experiencing, that is valuable. It is bad. So that's our kind of our difference here. You're talking about some will and having like the will be the excuse or whatever the fuck. I don't deny these things. Like you fucking do, bro. You deny that has any value. You think there needs to be some like will to like compensate or whatever. I think that's silly Billy shit. So yeah.
In hell because they're being terrorized by rats. Because it's not
Ooh, the
their
vegan
reality,
mafia
they
dresses
don't
your
care.
life.
This is
Oh
someone
yeah,
else's
sure he
reality. It's
does.
out of sight, out of mind.
So
They don't have
beautiful.
any empathy for humans. And when I did that live stream, they they tried to find a way to blame it on humans. They tried to say it was about people not taking out, or not being responsible with their waste, and somebody even tried to say it's about the farmers. Like, no, these are urban neighborhoods. This has nothing to do with farming. But again, they don't want to put the blame on the rats, because rats are animals. They hate human beings, so they're going to find a way to put the blame back on human beings and absolve the animals of all culpability. Clearly, those rats are terrorizing human beings. And clearly, the solution would be to wipe those rats out of existence.
Yeah, okay,
But
I have no
no, you
problem with
can't harm
that.
an animal.
I have no problem with that. I'm consistent in my ethics. If you want to kill things, kill them. So when it comes down to it, death isn't bad for the one who dies. It's not a rights violation. It's a transition into nothingness. People violate rights all the time, blah blah. Rights don't even really exist. All that shit. I don't really care if you want to kill rats. Go and kill the rats. But when it comes down to it, bringing things into existence is a little bit different. Wow, it's a unnecessary imposition of all the harms that will ever occur in a life. That's a pretty big thing in comparison to a transition to non-existence, which, last time I checked, just as you weren't harmed before you're born, you're not going to be harmed after you die. So, I think it's a little bit of a spicy take to say that there's the exact same thing. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not saying you're saying the exact same thing, but it kind of sounds like you're kind of saying that they're the exact same thing. Like I don't see it. I mean, the vegans say that, so you're probably just saying, no, the vegans are saying this. I'm not saying that, but it's just true. A lot of vegans are rights based, so. But as I said before, not all vegans are rights-based. Not all vegans believe in deontological principles. So when it comes down to it, you lumping all vegans together is kind of silly, to put it the kindest. Now, to be very upfront with you, you still haven't really changed my mind when it comes to the fact that you're an antinatalist against bringing things into existence. Now, your will. Now, surely you think the will. I mean, you said the will operates in fucking water and like rocks and shit. So you're just a silly fucker when it comes down to it. You're a silly fucker. You believe that the war of the will is operating in the streams, in the sky, and the wind. So you can go fuck off. You're an idiot. But if assuming you don't and you think it's just in the biological organisms, then I'd be like, okay, maybe that makes a little more sense, because as you said, maybe it's like the DNA molecule. The will is the DNA molecule. It's not conscious presence. Maybe the ethicists are right. It's just the DNA molecule. Well, then it takes place in biological organisms. So maybe if you want to fight the will, you should be against bringing new vessels of DNA into existence. Wow, is that a really hard process to think? No, it's not. It's not. It makes fucking sense. Because if you're an antinatalist, even if you're a will antinatalist, you should be against bringing catalysts of the will's mechanism into existence. But apparently you're not. So fuck you. Oh, but when it comes down to it, plants, 60% to 80% of plants go to feeding animals. So if you care so much about this will and the plants, then guess what? You'd still be vegan. You would still be vegan, because guess what? It takes more plants to feed animals than it does to just be a vegan. So, yeah, everybody knows this. It's a fucking common known fact. I mean, it's been used for the whole pain debate forever. Like, they're like, what do plants feel pain? The vegan responds by saying, well, 60 to 80% of all crops go through that. Same thing about your will. If you want to say, oh, but what about the will? You're feeding the eternal will by bringing plants into existence. Well, guess what? You bring more plants into existence by being a meat eater. So fuck you. You're just a fucking liar, little tool. You just want to do what you want to do.
Animals, let the rats run free so that they can terrorize human beings, bite children. That rat killed that little boy, but they're going to make an excuse for that too. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's completely incompatible.
Pitfalls kill people, diseases kill people, birds kill people, sharks kill people, flying fish killed people, cats have laid on people. You like cats, don't you? You like cats. Cats have laid over on people and squashed babies. People have killed a fuck ton of people. What's your point?
It's not about eliminating human suffering. It's not about going against the will. They don't understand. When you look at the anti-natalists who are vegan, they're not about eliminating human suffering at all. They're just about not procreating, but human suffering.
Well, yeah, I agree on. You at least point that out. That a lot of antinatalists are a bunch of silly fucking deontologists who are all about inaction. If there's a trolley problem in front of them and it's squish and murder, it's torture 5 people or torture 1 person, and all you need to do is flip a lever and it will torture 1 person instead of 5, yeah, they're gonna be like, oh my god, but that's me causing torture. I can't do that. And they're gonna allow 5 people to be tortured instead. So yeah, vegans and deontologists usually are a lot of times are idiots. They're willing to cause a bunch more suffering. They're willing to torture. They're willing to be like, oh no, there's a a single mouse and we have to pinch the mouse once, or torture all of humanity for all of eternity. They're gonna get the answer wrong and say, oh, it's a violation to pinch the mouse. So yeah, deontologists, a lot of vegans, idiots, fucking retards. I know that. I'm not gonna say it that vegans and deontologists aren't retards, because they are retards. But when it comes down to it, there's a little bit of a difference between saying, wow, the principles are fucking baseless, they don't have a spine, they don't have a grounding for why they have their principles, they don't have basis of being like, oh, pain is objective value. They just have like a random thing they pull out of their ass and they're just like, this makes me feel. So yeah, I understand why you're a little bit annoyed of them. I'm a little bit annoyed of them too. But you don't even have a basis. You don't have a backbone either. And when it comes down to it, at least they're consistent. They don't have a backbone, but at least they're consistent. They're consistent in their like a woo-wah backbone. Like they've imagined a backbone, like an imaginary backbone. At least it looks like a backbone though. Like in their mind. On their mind's eye, it looks like a backbone. You're just all over the place. You're like, I'm an antinatalist, so I bring animals into existence, and I'm an anarchist, so I confine things to a cage. Woo! So it's just like you're everywhere. You don't have a backbone because you don't believe that. I mean, I guess you kind of do. You actually do have a backbone. I lied. You have a backbone. It's just it's weird though. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Your backbone is fight the will, actually. You actually do have a backbone. Now I think about it. You have a backbone. You believe in objective ethics. You believe whatever's right is whatever fights the will, which is stupid. You're basically just like, I'm an anarchist. I fight power. Yee. Whoever's in charge, I fight them. I don't care if they're right. I don't care if they're wrong. Fight the power. Whoop, whoop, fight the power. You know? So it's just stupid. It's just stupid. You're stupid. But at least you have a backbone. I'll give you that. I was wrong for a moment when I said you didn't have a backbone. You do have a backbone. You have a stupid ass backbone. It's like fucking has scoliosis or some shit, but like you have a backbone.
No, it's not.
See, that's the thing. The vegans have principles that are straight, but they're no backbone. It's imaginary. You have a backbone, but you haven't got your principles straight.
Not even a part of their agenda. They're not. I don't even okay, just like they say that you can't be a real anti-natalist unless you're vegan. I don't think that you can be a real anti-natalist if you are a vegan. Yes, vegans who force veganism on their kids are definitely worse than just individual vegans who have no kids. Yeah, and I'm going to be addressing that too. I wanted to go back and look up the case law on that woman who murdered her baby. But like I said, you can kill your own baby and still be considered vegan because that has nothing to do with veganism. This is why I personally treat vegan parents at. Okay, I don't want to give it away because I'm going to address that. I want to do a live stream, but yeah, I'm not going to address that right now. But it's the same thing. They don't care about human suffering, even when it comes to their own children. That's it's a secondary thing. It's ancillary. Human suffering, I don't even think that it's ancillary. It's like not even relevant. They don't, if you listen to vegans, they never talk about human suffering. It's only about animal
8
suffering.
billion,
Even when you try to go vegan and you can't make it work because
wild.
you're suffering health problems. You have food allergies, or you have severe bloating. You have.
That's like saying like, oh, there's the Holocaust going on right now, and the Holocaust support organization only talks about Jews getting genocided. Why aren't they talking about the Japanese and the American internment camps right now? Don't they care about the Japanese people in the internment camps during World War II? They care about people in camps, don't they? Yeah, but there's a bigger fucking problem than the Japanese in the internment camps. There's millions of people being genocided right now. There's a little bit of a difference in a scale of problems. There's just a couple hundred, a couple thousand versus millions of people being slaughtered and millions upon millions in hiding. Yeah, there's a little bit of difference in scale of problems. So priority, whatever, I don't fucking care what the word is. You get what I'm saying. Is a little bit shifted into where it should be. You know, the net pain, the millions of Jews versus the people in the American internment camps. Like, there's a big difference. So that's why a vegan focuses on, they care about human suffering, but they're going to only focus on animal suffering because there's quintillions of animals and compared to billions of people. And those billions of people generally have the ability to put shelters over their head and live in social units and have welfare states and stuff of that nature. Well, animals, guess what? They just fucking have to tear each other apart and hide in little burrows. So there's a lot more suffering in the wild. Idiot.
Chronic fatigue. They don't care. They say, well, there's no such thing as an ex-vegan. You were never vegan in the first place. And they all gang up on them, even though they tried. So I'm not even going to make an effort, because I already said I was willing to go vegetarian. I said I was willing to consume fish. I said I was willing to eat chicken, right?
Well,
Nothing short of going full vegan is going to be good enough. And there's no pleasing these people. So there's no point even trying. Like, basically, fuck vegans, right? Tell them to kiss your ass. Stop trying to please them. Stop giving into this belief that they're ethically superior to you, because they're not. They're cruel, evil, and degenerate. And I'm not going to make qualifications about which ones are good and which ones are bad. I'm talking about the philosophy as a whole. I'm talking about this occult. Whether there are good people, it doesn't matter. You're part of the same evil philosophy. So the fact that you call yourself vegan, you're guilty by association. Stop labeling yourself a vegan. It's like, I can call myself a Nazi, right? Were there good Nazis? I'm sure there were, but by association, you're part of the Nazi group. So whether you kill people or not, you're still guilty because you're a damn Nazi. And I don't know if this is extreme to compare vegans to Nazis, but it's
yeah,
hitting
a little bit. I wonder.
Hitting in that direction. They're terrible.
I want to protect things from getting killed and exploited.
They are zombies. They're brain dead. Their brains are on autopilot.
I wonder if those things are
we cannot harm animals under any circumstance. It doesn't matter if the rats are biting your children and killing you, and literally killed that little boy because they said these rats were so benign.
Okay, here's the thing. People kill people, rats can kill people. A fucking falling rock can kill a person. I'm not going to label them as inherently evil because, via principle, a rat's just trying to survive. A rat killing a person is a random coincidental event. It's not like all rats have a vendetta against children or some shit. If they did, then I'd say fucking cleanse them. You know? Like mosquitoes. Cleanse the fucking mosquitoes. They're not good. All they do is parasite. All parasites, fucking cleanse them. A rat, on the other hand, I don't see how a rat is inherently a harm producer. I just don't. So unless you can show that, I mean, they're definitely vessels of harm. They feel a lot of pain themselves. There's billions of them just fucking suffering out there. So yeah, I say get rid of the rats. But you're saying get rid of the rats because they cause harm. I'm saying get rid of the rats because they can feel harm. There's a big fucking difference. But it's like, goddamn, this guy's literally just like, oh, the rats, they cause harm. It's fucking, yeah, we get it. You're scared, you're pussy and scared of rats. Like, chill. Like, okay, like the rats aren't. As much as you believe in some silly Billy will, the will isn't puppeting the rats to scare you and your children. Okay, man, like fuck off.
Fine. It doesn't matter.
The point is that like there's a difference between a Nazi and a rat. A Nazi, by definition, is a fascist, someone who imposes their will upon people because they believe their race, their nationality is more superior than another person. They are inherently inflicting their will upon someone because of a superiority complex. A rat is a rat.
Their brains are on autopilot. You can't harm animals no matter what. They're not going to give you a humane alternative. They're just going to tell you not to harm the rats. So in fact, what they're saying is let the rats roam around freely, bite your children. They're not going to tell you anything else, any alternative, because they don't care. They want you to live in a rat-infested hellhole and be miserable. They don't give a shit. And they're going to say, oh, we do care, but they're going to okay, it doesn't matter what you can say you care all you want, but in effect, you're saying don't kill the rats that are threatening my life, and you're not giving me an alternative. So what you're essentially saying is that you want me to be harmed by the rat. You want me to be bitten by the dog. You want me to be eaten by lions, and you don't give a shit. They're animals. We're humans, so they're more valuable than us because, and they accuse us of being specious. They're the real species. They don't give a fuck about human beings. They're cruel, evil, and degenerate, and they need to be exposed. Stop. Somebody was telling me, oh, you like when I decided to make this channel anti-vegan, he said all they want you to do is admit that what they're doing is ethically superior and they're making a sacrifice, and I should be like them, even if no, I don't want to be like them. I'm not going to basically I didn't have to risk losing subscribers because even if I didn't go vegan, I could have at least acknowledged that they were ethically superior to me. That's not what I believe. I don't believe that they are ethically superior to me. I think they're full of shit. So I'm not going to bend the knee to these fucking malignant vegans. Fuck them. I don't have to do it. What are these vegans doing for me? I'm not bending down, bowing down to these evil, degenerate people. Fuck vegans. There's a lot of yes, it's always guilt trip. It makes no difference how many years I was a vegetarian. It's never good enough for. So why even make the effort? Why go vegetarian? Why? And they cheat anyway. They cheat. I mean, they all. Gosh,
there's a big difference. Majority of suffering happens in the dairy industry. I mean, all dairy cows go to get slaughtered. You're keeping them alive longer. A beef cow, as we said in this channel, promortalism, death isn't bad for the one to die, is a transition to non-existence. Suffering is where the bad is. Death is not where the bad lies. It is the pain you feel before you die. So, that being said, a beef cow only lives far less than a dairy cow. Where do you think I'm going with this? Oh, wait, there's a lot more suffering in the dairy cow's life than a beef cow. And guess what? They end up in the exact same place, a slaughterhouse. Therefore, dun 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 dun, dairy is worse than the beef industry. A shocker. It really didn't take too much explaining. I don't know how you didn't get this, but apparently I needed to explain it to you. So, guess what? Being vegan is not only ethically superior, it is vastly ethically superior to being a vegetarian. So, a vegan hounding a fucking vegetarian on having weak-ass principles where they're just like, pick me, I'm a nice guy. I do so much for the animals. Love me, adore me. I'm a good person. I was vegetarian for so many years. Oh, so much effort. Yeah, they're fucking bullshitters. They're hypocrites. They're liars. They're pick-me's. They're showboating. Fuck them.
Somebody out, but there's someone in the anti-natalist community who was on a live stream at the Waffle House, chugging down all these damn waffles. You do realize those waffles are not vegan, right? They have egg in it, right? But you're calling yourself a vegan. So basically, if you want to be vegan, you can just live your life as a fucking hypocrite, because none of them are really vegan. They all consume animal products at one point or another. So if you're going to just admit that you're not vegan, you're not fully plant-based, you are still an omnivore, maybe to a lesser extent than most people, but to claim you are purely plant-based is a fucking lie. None of them are purely plant-based. Yeah, I'm going to be addressing that. Hopefully when I do live stream, maybe you can comment on that. But I want to go back and read the case law, because I want to know what facts were revealed in that case. Man, that woman was so damn evil. And if you're okay, again, I'm trying not to get into that because I do want to address that in a separate live stream. There's a lot that I have to say about it. So I'm not going to do that right now because I don't know how many people will listen to this live stream later when it goes to replay. But anyway, I think veganism is incompatible with anti-natalism. It's a completely different paradoxical agenda. Anti-natalism is about reducing human suffering. Veganism is about reducing animal suffering at the expense of humans. Veganism is not in opposition to the will to life. Most of them are not against procreation, except when it comes to animals. Well, I don't even think they're even against animals. They just don't want them to be exploited. But by the way, they are exploiting animals because they're all monetizing animal exploitation. They're all getting on YouTube, running their mouths, making money off animal suffering. So none of them are vegan. Even if they're not consuming animal products, what they are, they're still exploiting animals. It's impossible to exist.
Oh, you're fucking little manipulative little cunt, aren't you? Oh yeah, I'm trying to raise money to stop cancer. Therefore, I'm going to have a live stream where I go, hey guys, let's all coalesce and try to fight to stop cancer. In fact, what we should do is we should all get together, donate here, and I'm going to give my money and my time to stopping cancer. In fact, remember guys, cancer is a bad thing. This whole entire stream is dedicated to facts about cancer. And he's basically just going to tell you that, look at this. This organization is dedicated to the stopping of cancer. Yeah, I don't fucking know. I don't know where I'm going with this. It's basically the point of stopping of, let's say slavery or exploitation of slavery. We're doing it is more accurate because it's a sentient thing. So this whole live stream is dedicated to stopping of slavery in the Middle East. We're dedicating our time to talking about opium facts. When it comes down to a majority of heroin is produced in Afghanistan. There's a lot of slave labor that goes into this. We should just don't support the illegal drug trade. Blah 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 blah. Well, we go into all these facts about all this, and then this motherfucker would be like, "Look at that! They're saying they want to stop exploitation of slaves, and yet look at this. They dedicated the whole stream to talking about slaves and gaining money so they could stop more exploitation of slaves. Huh. If anything, that's gaining money off the slaves also. Isn't that exploitation? Got you, slave stoppers. Boom." That's basically what you sound like, bro. You're just like, yeah, they gain money to stop the exploitation of animals. Yeah, that's how capitalism works. Everything is monetized. Time is money. When they spend their time to do that, They also gain money to do that because people are watching them, and they spend a lot of their money to stop more exploitation of animals. Yeah, it makes fucking sense to me. It's not inherently wrong. Where's the evil? I don't see the evil. You gotta explain to me how there's something inherently wrong and harmful in this, because I don't. Because you just sound like a fucking idiot saying I wanted to stop slavery and exploitations of humans, so I'm going to bring awareness to it, and then just being like, he brought awareness to it by talking about them, and so therefore by talking about them, you are also exploiting them. That's fucking bullshit. You're a bullshitter and you know it.
Without exploiting animals, unless you go live in a third world country, and you just live off the land. But if you live in a developed country, there's no way that you're not exploiting animals and other humans, which, by the way, they never want to account for that, because humans are exploited routinely in the production of their plant-based bullshit. So all that slop that they're eating was produced by human beings, most of whom can't even afford to consume the products that they consume. So you're too poor to consume the very products that these Western vegans consume. So how about grow your own damn food if you want to be a damn vegan? How about you stop exploiting human beings? What gets me is the fact that a lot of vegans try to emulate meat with vegetables. Cauliflower chicken is just a bad situation. Because they really do want to consume animal products, but they basically get to delude themselves by thinking, oh, if I consume this plant-based product that looks and somewhat tastes like a meat product or animal product, then I'm not really giving anything up. I can just choose this alternative, this inferior alternative, by the way, and then I can make believe that life is the same. See, what I'm trying to tell you is that they're not.
It's different. The point is to stop
They're not serious. They're not trying to
animals.
make any real change that is going to be comprehensive. They're incrementalists. So it's just, oh, I'm going to consume these chickpeas as opposed to consuming chicken nuggets. And that's it. Right? They're going to continue breeding. There's not going to be any real tangible results 100 years from now.
See, that's where you're fucking wrong, because 100 years from now, majority of people will be vegan. So, yeah, as we can tell, it's increased by like 20% in the last couple decades. So, yeah, I'm not going to be surprised if the majority of people are vegan. And you can't fucking tell me that zero farms in America exploiting animals is not a difference. That millions of animals not being locked in cages is a difference for them. That them not suffering is not making a difference. Yeah, for you it's just like, oh, but the plant will. Don't you know plants scream when they're cut? They release sperm. Yeah, fuck you. You're just a cunt.
Nothing. Maybe. Okay, so let's say it's 4% of the population is vegan now. Let's say 100 years from now, 20% of the population is vegan. But there's going to be more people on the planet.
20%,
so it's a complete wash. They have accomplished nothing. So there's more people, 20% are vegan.
Okay, let's look at the percentile of vegans. What percent of people are vegan in the USA? It might not be 20%. I'm not sure, but I know it's pretty damn high. 5%. Oh, it's vegetarian. I guess I was wrong. Okay, 3% are vegan. I was wrong. I know it was a 20% increase. It was a 20% increase, but it's now 20%. So I was wrong. It's only 3% are vegan, 5% are vegetarian, but let's just say it does increase to 20%. I mean, the population is not going to increase by 20%. It's going to cap out, say, at like 11 billion or whatever. I mean, maybe that is 20% actually. Yeah, it'd be 20%. So yeah, I mean, it would increase by 20%, but let's just say population increased by 20%, but it also increased by 20%. Yeah, sure. I mean, when it comes down to it, no matter what, the population is going to increase by 20%. So you're telling me that there's no difference between the population, no matter what, increasing by 20%, a guaranteed 20% increase. but that 20% increase is owns slaves, for example, or that 20% increase doesn't own slaves. You're saying there's no difference between an entire generation of slave class owners being created or an entire generation of slave liberators being created. There's no difference between that. None. You're such a fucking bullshitter. You're such a lying sack of shit. Yeah, you're a fucking lying sack of shit, and I'm saying it right here, fucking right now. You're a lying sack of shit if you think there's no difference between a 20% increase in population being slave owners or a 20% increase in population being slave liberators. If you don't think there's a difference, either you're an idiot or you're just a fucking liar.
Vegan, big woo. You have done absolutely nothing. You have not curved the population growth, so you have accomplished absolutely nothing. And they will all, pretty much all, with very limited exception, so nominal that's not even worth talking about. They pretty much all support procreation. So they're full of shit. It's a pseudo philosophy which accomplishes nothing. I don't take them.
Well, that I agree on. Like, all vegans should be antinatalists and all antinatalists should be vegan. I agree that their principles are flimsy and usually silly and stupid. All deontologists are silly, stupid motherfuckers. Agreed. But you also are slightly a deontologist, if I remember right. So you're included in that little bucket. So when it comes down to it, yeah. Yeah, you're a deontologist too. You're just as stupid as them. So, for the same exact reasons. At least they have consistent principles that kind of make sense in a reduction of suffering point ethics. As a consequentialist, I support them. You, on the other hand, you're just all over the place, or just as wishy-washy as them, based on baseless things. I mean, I guess as you have a will thing that you're trying to fight against, it's not baseless, as I said before. But it feels fucking baseless if you're doing this DNA thing. I don't know. You're just all over the place, bro.
Seriously, I don't think anyone else should. And I know they think I'm just angry. They're not trying to listen to it, right? There is a counter argument to veganism.
There isn't. You haven't done it yet.
And it needs to be exposed. This needs to be a serious.
The only counter argument to veganism is that vegans are wrong about hunting. Vegans are wrong about hunting and they're wrong about deontological principles. That's it. But in terms of action, you should be vegan. In terms of action, you should be vegan. It's just kind of how it is. Like, you haven't demonstrated how you shouldn't be vegan in terms of the way you purchase things, consequentially speaking. So, yeah, I mean, you're just a prick. You haven't really demonstrated anything.
Way to reduce animal suffering and the destruction of the environment without going vegan. Of course there is. There is an alternative. The main thing you can do to reduce animal exploitation and destruction of the environment is to not procreate. That has real long-lasting effects.
How is that going to help the animals? If all humans go away, billions of years of evolution continue on. Things tearing each other apart, fucking each other up. Evolution. Before humans existed, what happened? You're telling me the animals didn't suffer before humans existed? Because that's just fucking stupid and horseshit. Since humans have been around, we've turned the majority of the world into concrete jungles. How many animals we've extincted? How many life forms we've obliterated off the face of this fucking shithole on accident or purpose? A fuck ton. Humans have done more accidental good in this world than most things. See, if you want to tell me that getting rid of humans is somehow gonna fix animal suffering, either retard, as I said before, or you're a lying, disingenuous cunt, which is what I'm thinking it is.
Far superior than going vegan. Vegans may have a smaller footprint, but if they're continuing to procreate, down the road, they are going to have a much greater footprint than someone who doesn't procreate. personally, I voluntarily choose to limit the amount of animal products I consume because I feel better about it, but veganism is unnecessary. Well, what they don't understand is that well, first of all, most Americans are primarily plant-based anyway. 70% of our diet is plant-based for an average American. Um, but even me, I eat a lot of salads. I don't even, I'm not going to try to explain myself to these degenerate vegans. It's not like I'm sitting here eating steaks all night, but if I wanted to consume steaks every night, I could. And
yeah, and you could also rape someone every
the
night.
reason I
What's your
consume animal
point?
products
Just because
more
you can
than
do something doesn't mean
plant-based
fuck.
products than animal products is because
Degenerate filth.
of vanity, because I don't want to get fat, I don't want to get a gut. But if I wasn't vain, if it was about health, it would be healthier for me to consume grain-fed beef every night and eliminate or reduce my consumption of plants. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself.
And did you know that sexual deprivation is actually really unhealthy for you? Holding in your, like, being sexually deprived is actually bad for a male or female. Did you know that? In fact, feeling loneliness actually decreases your lifespan. Should you rape people if you feel lonely? Should you cause unconsensual suffering to people just because it would benefit your health? No, that's horrible. You should never cause unconsensual suffering to another thing. That's an imposition of harm. Just because it benefits my health, just because it's more beneficial for me, doesn't mean I should make their lives secondary. Oh wait, that's kind of what you're doing to animals. Doesn't that make you a hypocrite? No, because animals fuck them. Because I say so. Fuck you, cunt.
This is the process, the deprogramming of those who are vegan. I don't think they're going to be listening to this content, but I'm going to go step by step,
I'm
deprogramming
listening.
these
I
mind
mean, I'm
control
not even a
vegans.
vegan.
Everything
I
they've been
eat
told is a
fish.
lie.
I
Plants are
hunt
not
and fish.
healthier than animals.
I'm better than a vegan, but I still know you're
You
an
are a
idiot.
natural omnivore, but if you were to consume animal products, you would actually be healthier. And this is not me encouraging people to consume animal products. I'm talking about health, right? I care about human suffering. So if I tell okay, so I did
I'm
a
pretty
video
healthy, my
telling
friend.
people how to eliminate their eczema, and I was saying that basically you should reduce your consumption of oxalates, and if that doesn't work, then you should go carnivore because there's something in your diet which is calling you to have an inflammatory reaction, and it's usually going to be plant-based. And I identified all these plants which contain oxalates. So because I said that, somebody said I was encouraging people to consume animal products, and it's like, no, I'm telling people to do what is in their best interest when it comes to health. You make your own decisions as an individual. I mean, I'm unlike the vegan mafia. I'm not here trying to play God, trying to tell people
It's
how
not
to live
playing
their
God,
lives.
it's playing a
That's
moral
not what
fucking agent. We are all moral agents. Huh, isn't that crazy? It's almost like we can make choices that affect things in good ways or bad ways. That's crazy. And that the term we use is called moral agency. Being a moral agent, not playing God. Choosing to rape someone or not rape someone isn't playing God. It's being a moral agent, a good person or a bad person. Helping someone when you donate to charity or whatever, that's not playing God of someone's life. Being like, "Mwahaha, I saved a kid in Africa by donating the malaria net. I'm a god." No, it's playing a moral agent. Just as saying, "Huh, you are a bad person and ought not to inflict unnecessary harm on animals by forcing them into existence as tools to suffer and die and kick around." It's wrong to have a steak every night, as you said it would be okay to do, because consequentially you are paying for something to come into existence as tool to suffer and eventually die. Huh. Is that too complicated? Is that too Is it too hard to understand, my friend? I'm calling you a friend is being disingenuous. You're not my fucking friend. But, you know. Okay, let's play the video again. I'm getting distracted.
I do. I
I'm
provide
dying.
information
Fortnite.
because most people don't
Lordy.
research things on their own anyway. I'm not the expert when it comes to nutrition. I have taken a basic nutrition class. I have learned things just based on my own reading. And so I know things that I didn't know maybe a year ago. I was completely ignorant, just like most people. I believed that all plants were healthier than animals. I was growing peanuts in my backyard, eating raw peanuts, not knowing that raw peanuts contain lectins. Nobody told me this shit. Nobody in the vegan community is saying this shit. Many of them are saying that you should go raw, not telling people that by going raw, you are consuming a bunch of anti-nutrients. But we all need to be re-educated and deprogrammed on proper nutrition because these vegans sure as hell aren't doing that because they don't care about human suffering. I do care about human suffering. So if you do have a specific health condition which
no, this thing, my
is
dude. They
causing
care
you
about
to be
human
unhealthy,
suffering equally. You don't. You prioritize humans. They care about it equally. They say, "Oh wait," because they're rights based. They're saying basically just a simple thing of like, maybe someone's uncomfortable experience of a rat isn't worth taking a rat's life. Maybe, just maybe, it's not worth torturing something for a long time just because it would be more beneficial for you to have taste pleasure or some type of bulkier muscle frame or whatever the fuck. It's simply just taking into account that from a utilitarian assessment point of view, there are things that are worse and better than the universe. That unlike you and your silly fucking will thing, where it's just like, oh, you know, it's a will, so therefore is who cares if it has a nervous system? Who cares if it can suffer in different degrees? A fucking rock is just a product of the will as a plant, and the plant is just a product of the will as a dolphin. There's no difference between a dolphin and an acorn, you know. And your point of view is stupid, my friend. Your point of view is just stupid. I don't know what else to say. You don't see the difference between an acorn, a cat, and a dolphin, and a human being. You can't understand there's differences between them because they have different degrees of awareness and different degrees of sentience, different degree of pain feeling, and you know, if you can't tell that there's a difference between these things, I think you're just dumb.
then maybe you should try an alternative diet, which could include going carnivore. What am I supposed to tell people that if you're sick and you're having that, you know, your skin is breaking out, that you should continue on your plant-based diet? No, I'm not going to do that shit because I have empathy. I will not do that. I'm going to tell you what the cause is and what you can do to fix your problem. Now, when I went carnivore, I did it temporarily. I
Here's
did
the
it for
thing.
6 weeks. My skin
I'm
cleared
an
up.
utilitarian. I'm way less empathetic than a lot of people. I'm basically just gonna tell this person to man the fuck up. Their little skin rash and worth torturing a total of 200 animals every single year for your diet. 200 animals, 100 to 200 animals every single year for your diet. I'm gonna tell you your skin rash isn't worth the life and suffering of 200 things. 1 versus 200. A rash versus torturous agony of an entire lifespan. It's not really not much of a utilitarian assessment. But guess what? Most vegans are a little kinder than I. they're deontologists, silly little principle motherfuckers. So they're going to say to you, well, if it's necessary, then it's fine. So if you have a rash, go for it. Eat animals. Most vegans aren't going to say that if you are in agony or something, or you're in some type of discomfort, or your doctor says you should do this, that they're not going to tell you otherwise. They're going to say you should do that, but when it comes down to it, you should still limit your plant things to the minimum. You should, your animal consumption to the minimum. You should base your diet entirely on plants if you can, but if you can't, then you don't. That simple. Me, I'm a little bit of a cunt. I'm going to say that you're just as valuable as an animal. So if you think a rash is worth their torture, you're just a fucking idiot. So, guess what? You should probably be criticizing people more like me than a fucking vegan, because a vegan's a deontologist. So they're basically just going to say, they're going to have some silly little, they're going to either say that you're like the same as I, based on consequentialist rights things, or they're going to basically say some even sillier thing like, oh, your rash is worth it. So, like, your rash prevention is worth it, because it's necessary. So either way, a vegan I could see being more empathetic than me. So you're just a silly little fucker if you think someone's rash is worth, I'm just going to tell them if they really care about their suffering so much to put a fucking rope around their neck and hang themselves. If they really care about their suffering so much that we're willing to impose suffering on things on a net hole, if they're willing to fucking shank their allies in the back just to keep themselves alive, yeah, fucking put a gun to your head, pull the trigger. If you care about your suffering prevention so fucking much, stand up for it. Fucking do the maximum. Stop being a little pussy and dilly-dallying around your suffering, if you're fucking suffering reductionism, and being like, ooh, I want to prevent a rash so bad that I'm going to torture other things. Yeah, well, fuck you. If you want to prevent your suffering so much, do it forever.
I'm not telling people to do it permanently. I'm telling people how to fix their leaky gut, which now has become a running joke. No, leaky gut is a real thing, which is caused by consuming lectins.
Well, eat a fucking healthy diet, you cunt. I don't have a leaky gut.
Vegan Deterioration. Excellent channel. Yeah, they are deteriorating. You see them go from being healthy human beings to unhealthy degenerates. It's like, I'm sick. Why don't you become sickly just like me? So, man, these vegans, they're a problem. They're a real menace.
My arguments are better than yours.
The reason that
I'm
nobody's challenging them is
clearly,
because they are
if I'm
automatically
deficient,
deemed
I don't know what you are.
Ethical, and because they basically they use animals as human shields, or they hide behind animals so they can be proxies for the animals. They can appropriate their suffering and then use that suffering to tell you what to do. So these people are not, they're degenerate. They're social misfits, and by latching on to veganism, they actually get to be somebody. They get to have some type of social standing based on associational standing, based simply on their affiliation with this occult. And they're losers, they're misfits. Nobody should be taking these vegans seriously. They're evil, unethical, anti-human. So anyway, I planned on making this live stream short, but I ended up going off on a tangent, which the point is, I think veganism is incompatible with anti-natalism, specifically because they have two paradoxical agendas. One is to eliminate human suffering, and the other is to only reduce animal suffering at the expense of humans, and to give in to the will to.
It's not to reduce animal suffering at the expense of humans. It's reduce animal suffering. It's just reduce animal suffering. If you think the expense is your taste, if you think your taste pleasure, and I don't know, whatever whatever fucking nutrients that supposedly is lacking. Supposedly, you can't prove it, but supposedly is lacking. Is worth the torture of, I don't know how many, like just a few, how many animals are being killed. I know it's like, okay, I know the statistic based off of a few logical days ago. So like every 2 or 3 days, 4 days, it is something like that. Like 100 billion animals are killed. So that's more than humans that have existed in all of history. So you're saying every 4 days we are every 4 days we're allowed to slaughter every single equivalent of every human in history just to compensate for what? I don't feel like I'm really lacking in too much. I don't think vegan gains or lifting logic is lacking too much. They seem like beefy dudes. I don't think David Bentar is lacking too much. In fact, I feel like I've destroyed your argument pretty well. So when it comes down to it, what's there to say other than you're just an idiot? It's idiots versus logic. Title of the video.
Life. So veganism is about sustainability.
It's really not.
Complete opposite of what anti-nihilism. We don't care about sustainability. We want this to end. So I don't know how you can be a damn alphalist where you're a vegan anti-nihilist. No, you can't be both.
Well, yeah, you can't be. I mean, you can be a vegan and an etholist at the same time. You're just being more neutral than a positive force. You're not really preventing suffering. You're more or less just not causing suffering yourself, which I say is good for you. At least you're being a neutral in comparison to most people, which are polite. But I think if you're an etholist, you should be hunting and you should be fishing, as I am. I fish. So it's just like you should be doing these things, but when it comes down to it, if you're not, hey, at least you're a neutral force. If you're too much of a pussy to go out there and hunt and fish, hey, I can't judge you too hard. There's a lot of biological imperatives in the social species to prevent us from wanting to cause harm to other things. So when it comes down to it, I understand how you could be so viscerally horrified by causing harm to things. You can intellectually understand it's necessary, but don't want to do it yourself. So I'm not going to condemn an etholist for not wanting to take a life, even though primordialism, Epicureanism, and egalitarianism implies that taking an animal's life is probably the best thing for the animal. But you, on the other hand, you are causing actual suffering. You are doing an action where you are causing suffering. It's not like you're just like not preventing some suffering because it disturbs you to do it. No, it's just like you are actively going out of your way to contribute to the supply and demand chain suffering. So there's a little bit of a difference between just avoiding doing, I guess, like a good and causing a bad. So
even vegan freely said the reason that she doesn't support Black Lives Matter and these other social justice movements is because
fuck yeah, he is.
If she supports social justice, then she's going to be ignoring animal suffering, or she's not. Basically, there are enough people who are social justice warriors. There aren't enough vegans. So if she has to choose, she's going to choose animal suffering. She said, according to Freely, you can't be both a civil rights justice warrior and a vegan. So she chose to prioritize animals over humans. And this is according to Freely. This is one of their occult leaders, right?
Occult
this is
leaders.
One of your gods that you worship.
Our gods. That's
Freely
funny.
said this, and
I don't worship anything but myself.
So if you can't be both,
my ethics come from myself
if you can't care
and
about
people
humans
that base.
and animals, and they choose
I
to
disagree
care
with
about animals.
The closest my ethics align to is Amendum. And even Amendum I have disagreements with. Even I critique Amendum. So I don't worship anything but myself. I am my own god. In a way, as Nietzsche says, I hate fucking Nietzsche's guts because he's basically just like, be your own god. There's the slaves and there's the masters. In a way, I am my own master. I make my own morality. I don't make my own morality. I discover my own morality, so to speak. Like, I believe morality and ethics lie out there. Like, there's You sound like you just make it up, and whoever has the loudest voice wins. Now, I believe like you discover what is right and what is wrong, and that is essentially pain and pleasure. So basically, I believe I've discovered the truth, and I've like dived into the truth and found the more nuanced details to it and honed in on things. All that jazz. I've done that myself through deep exploration of multiple people's philosophies. So take a little bit of Schopenhauer, took a little bit of Benatar, took a little bit of Mainlander, took a little of Mendham, took a little bit of Matti Hari, took a little bit of everybody, some Saran. I just grab shit when someone has an idea that makes fucking sense. I grab onto it. I'm not just worshiping one person as my Lord and Savior. If someone says something that makes sense, wow, it makes sense. I don't care about their name. I don't care about their title. I don't care about their status. If they say something that's factually true, I'm like, that's factually true. If they say something that's bullshit, I'm like, that's bullshit.
I'm choosing to care more about animals. I'm choosing to care more about humans than animals. I can care about animals too, but humans come first.
Though. Why?
Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get off this live stream because I do need to get some things done.
See, if there was an animal and a person in a burning building, I'm going to save the person. I have a reason for that, though, because humans are moral agents. A person can prevent net suffering. So, I'm going to say the person because a person can be doing antinatalist activism, a person can be doing vegan activism, a person can be, I don't know, doing a ton of things to try to prevent net suffering. They can be doing abortion activism, whatever, An animal, especially if it's like a herbivore, isn't doing shit for shit to prevent suffering. So when it comes down to it, they are equal in value as they are equal in value in the sense that they are value producers and that their sentient experience, their ability to feel generates value equally. A person or an animal, they equally feel things. Their empirical experience is equal in value. But I'm going to prioritize a human, not because they are first and foremost before animals. No, solely because they're a tool, an instrument, a useful tool, a very useful instrument. And that's just as I'm not gonna I'm not gonna save the broken tool, the one that can't do anything for me. I'm gonna save the one that is a useful tool. No, I'm not gonna save the person because I have empathy. No, that's just fucking useless in-group, out-group mechanism. Billions of years of fucking bullshit. Fuck that. I am using logic to determine who I save, and I am saving the person because they can save other things. Okay? I save the person because the person saves other things. Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? It's not because human better because human look like me. No, that's fucking dumbass monkey shit. No, I save the person because the person can save another person. It's that simple. I save the person because the person can be an antinatalist and prevent more things from coming into existence. That's fucking it.
Before I go to bed, so yeah, I'm probably going to do another live stream this weekend, and I'm still losing subscribers. Which, by the way, I don't know why these people. If you should have left already. Why? I mean, I would rather rip the Band-Aid off instead of doing this slow, process of, oh, maybe I should unsubscribe, or I'm still, no, if you're wavering whether you should unsubscribe or not, unsubscribe. I don't know why I have people still unsubscribing. You should have done that shit a long time ago. My numbers should be increasing at this point. Why are you still here? Right? Leave. So if I lose 100 more subscribers.
Yeah, okay. Well, now he's just bitching about the nature of his subscribers, which, fair enough. I mean, if I was in his position, I'd be the same boat. I'd be like, what the fuck y'all doing here? Just unsubscribing slowly. It's just if you disagree with what I'm saying, if you have a principle, if you have visceral disagreements with my principles, get the fuck out. That's what I did with Dave. Early in the stream today, if you watch it, you see there's this guy that's been subscribed to my channel. He asked me useless fucking questions in all my streams for the longest fucking time. And he just said to me, I'm a Trump supporter. I love Trump. And I just said, get the fuck out. Flick, go away. So when it comes down to it, why did I do that? Is it because I just don't like Trump? No. It's because, guess what? Trump is a pro-lifer. He consequently brings babies into existence that suffer and die. Trump is a theocrat. He wants a theocracy. He wants religious people in charge. That's against my principles as an atheist, to someone that wants not to have like actual fucking like women's rights and stuff, that wants religion out of church, that wants evolution taught in schools. There's a reason to be against Trump as I'm a fucking anti-theist. 3. Trump's increased Trump is in support of Saudi Arabia, which supports a fucking genocide. He's took money from the Saudis in corrupt business deals. So Trump is corrupt. He takes bribes from other countries and supports a genocide. 4. The amount of drone strikes that have increased, it was tripled under Trump. I'm a primordialist, sure, but the amount of suffering and death and hatred that has been fueled in the Middle East, the amount of turmoil and the increase in terrorism, every citizen you strike down, every brother of a terrorist you strike down motivates another person to become a terrorist. Motivates 2 people to be like, the fucking infidel struck down my brother for no reason. All he was doing is working in the market, and you killed him in a fucking cluster bomb strike. Cluster bombs are illegal, but you just cluster bombed my brother. Yeah, of course I'm gonna be a fucking against Trump. He's fucking evil prick. He literally said, we're going to secure the oil. Secure the oil? That's your justification for being in the Middle East? To secure the oil? all this hatred, all this death, all this suffering, people's limbs being blown off, the fucking double taps. You know what a double tap is? It's when you go in and you pop bomb an area, you wait about 15, 20, 30 minutes for the civilians to come in and start helping the wounded, and then you go and fly in and back again, and you bomb them one more time and kill all the medics. Beautiful strategy of warfare. You humiliate and demotivate any civilian effort to help out. It's truly beautiful. Don't we love it? It's lovely. Don't we love warfare? It's just like, yeah, Trump loves warfare. He fucking loves it. So yeah, I'm not gonna support Trump. So fuck you, Dave. Fuck anybody. It's just like, I have principles. I agree. I agree in a way, like, I agree with the vegan mafia dude in a way that, like, if you disagree with something that I say and you viscerally disagree with it, say so why you disagree and we'll hash it out. And if you still disagree, then get the fuck out of here. It's just how it is. Like, it's the same with him. Like, if it's just like, if I disagree with Trump people. If you're a Trump supporter in here, we don't agree on anything. You're just looking at me because you like my pretty face. Get the fuck out. What's genocide? The genocide in Yemen. If you look up the Yemen genocide, people don't qualify as a genocide officially speaking, but it is a genocide. If you look at the death tolls in Yemen right now, the Yemenis people cannot fight back. They've been sanctioned, barricaded in their country, starved to death. Millions of people dying from diseases that are completely preventable, with the medicines being blocked out of their country. Hospitals, schoolyards, everything is being bombarded. So it doesn't matter. Civilian structures, the more you bomb the civilian structures, the more it demotivates. So Saudi Arabia is just going all in on that. So when it comes down to it, they may not qualify as a genocide officially in the UN, but it is a genocide. So, and the United States is supporting it. We sell cluster bombs to Saudi Arabia, which are illegal under international law. So yeah, we support a genocide, and Trump did not give a shit about that. So, I mean, sure, Biden's not really giving too many shits either, but when it comes down to it, there's far more things that I can critique Trump on than I can critique Biden on. So, there's a lesser of two evils, so to speak. But yeah, anybody that's I'm done with the vegan mafia bullshit. So, what subjects we want to talk about now? You can just hop into FLism, I guess, and shit like that. Same thing as before. But yeah, fucking Fucking God, man. I hate people so much. It's just everybody's inconsistent. Oh, you said the vegan mafia dude was responding to me, right? You said he was responding to me. Never mind. I don't know if I can see it. There's a video 49 minutes ago, but my streams. Oh, maybe it was that. Never mind. It might have been that.
Animal sacrifice.
That's not it. This is the video that I saw at the very beginning of the stream. Unless he starts talking about me at some point. Let's just skip a little bit into the video and see if he's talking about me.
Humans are separate from all other animals. That we don't have the right to consume our natural diet. We don't have a right to self-preservation. We don't have any of the same I don't know traits that any other animal have. We're supposed to forego all of that and appeal.
Well, I don't believe animals or people have a right to any of those things. Rights are just a silly concept.
To ethics, which I've talked to y'all before about
They're a good
Maslow's
instrumental tool, but
hierarchy,
that's
that
about it.
ethics is it's after self-actualization. It's basically transcendence. It's the higher
Transcendence, using silly terms like transcendence. Talking about vegans being socially retarded. Oh yeah, it's socially retarded to call out suffering. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, man, I don't get people, bro. I don't get people. You know what? Let's go smoke. I have a new message. Oh shit! Oh shit! Ha 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 ha! Pain. I fucking hate that realization. The realization it's the 7th, guys. It's the 7th. It's the 7th. Cost of existence is too fucking high. I'm gonna go smoke. It's the fucking 7th. You know, I'm gonna go drink too. It's the fucking 7th. Just get fucked up. Let's go. Yay. around this time. Probably around this time. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is, but if he's serving in the United States military, he probably should apologize a little bit. I mean, not really, because there's no free will or anything like that, but like, you should be like at least like sorry in nature for like contributing to the death of Michigan, even if you didn't acknowledge that you don't have free will. You should be at least like annoyed at your past self or like disturbed at your past self. Like, I don't know, you should be like sympathetic to the people who suffered in the name of like whatever past belief you held. But yeah, guys, please keep the questions coming. It's gonna be a rough day today. I need as much distraction as possible. If I'm an angry cunt today, it's gonna be understandable. I'm gonna do activism probably today, and I'm gonna be really pissed. I am gonna be furious at people. So it's gonna be the way it is. There's gonna be no empathy today. Rip Dave indeed. But it's more than just Dave. Today is the fucking 7th. Dave won. All this shit with like my fake subscribers, that pisses me off too. But 7th. Every day is the 7th. My anger and rage for this fucking existence just increased. The 7th is when my friend killed himself. 7th of February, 2023. So I'm a little annoyed. Today is the 7th. Saddened, angered. Might cry at some point today, but you know, now I'm just pissed. Now I'm just angry. People just excuse something. I'd rather be angry than sad. It's better. Better for me. Steve Brown. Yeah, I'll look into it. When I get back inside, I'll look into Steve Brown. Should you unsub from the vegan mafia? I don't know, man. I did a while back. When he was the antinatalist informant, I was subscribed to him, and then as he slowly started having more whiny content, I kind of was like, I don't really like this guy. And then once he changed his name to the Vegan Mafia, I was like, yeah, he's just a piece of shit. Sorry, I'm subbed. But you can do whatever you want. I mean, you being subbed allowed me to have this content today. Allowed you to be like, hey, Brant, this dude uploaded a thing that you might want to respond to. So by you being subbed, it allowed me to have this opportunity. So look at where you are, you know? I mean, maybe you're doing it that good by being subbed. No brain has had respond to Mentis. Don't know who either of those is. But maybe I'll look into it. First, I'll look into Steve Brown, whoever the fuck Steve Brown is. And not sub him. Good, good. Andrew Tate says he wants to choke the Amazing Atheist. Well, Andrew Tate's a pedophile and a pimp. So fuck Andrew Tate. And the Amazing Atheist is a nihilist and a carnist and just in general a fat piece of shit cunt. So, if a rapist strangles a nihilist piece of shit, I consider this a win-win, you know? Like, the rapist goes to jail and the nihilist dies. So, I'm in full support of Andrew Tate choking the fuck out of the Amazing Atheist. I want to know his reason behind it, you know? Like, if he's just like, fuck atheists, I hate them all. Then I'd be like, consequentially speaking, still strangle the fuck out of the guy, but also you're kind of a piece of shit. So, for strangling him solely because of a difference in ideology that has no backbone or reason behind doing the disagreement. But, you know, I mean, fuck the Amazing Atheist, so strangle away, Andrew Tate. It's not much, but it's like a shot or two. You know, it was, the ZS honey bear. Don't know who that is or what that is, but yes, I will, my brother. Testing 1 2. Who? Apologies. Steve Brown uploads and clips. Let's look up Steve Brown. Steve Brown. You're from Israel? I mean, Israel's always at war, my dude.
Alright, so like in my rant in my last video, I just don't get why humans want to do the impossible constantly. Oh, what's live longer? Oh, what's travel the universe? Or what's hibernate? You know what I mean? Or let's live underwater, you know? And then thing is, like, humans want to do the impossible, and they let slaves fucking do all the work for them, for the rich that want to do the impossible. And it makes them suffer, it makes them go through pain, it makes them go through agony, all because humans want to do the impossible. You know, I don't get it. Why do humans want to survive so much? Why do humans want to, like...
Big facts. Anyways, I get it. We all get it. Humans strive for useless goals because our meaning, we have no meaning, and you have no cosmic meaning, I should say. We have meaning in the sense that we generate negative value of our existences. Our existence is suffering. So we generate negative value that can be cleaned up. So we can have meaning in the fact we can clean up a mess, but other than that, there's no cosmic meaning. So yeah, we basically create artificial goals because the only thing else we can do is basically just wipe ourselves and every other life form off the face of this earth. That's the only other value there is worth doing. Which we deny, obviously. Billions of years of programming it makes it so we deny such things. So yeah, we're gonna instead create artificial goals. I mean, I could watch the rest of that video, but that's pretty much what it's gonna be summed up as. Like, why do we do these things? Artificial goal generation. Because yeah, hi, yeah, yeah. How's it going? Yeah, yeah. How's it going? Look at this guy. He's adorable. Little creature of the night. Out there hunting things. Probably ate a mouse or two. Didn't you? Good boy. Best ethelist. He's running up there to go eat some food. Adorable little creature. Oh, we got Stephen Brown. Let's see. Yeah, let's just get back into the F-list content. I mean, I might end this. Yeah, you know what? This is a solid response video stream, so I'm gonna end the stream because the majority of this was a response video. So I'm gonna end the stream and then I'm gonna start a stream back up again, just because the algorithm is beneficial. If I do such a thing, it would be like it prioritizes. You know, no one's gonna watch like a fucking multi-hour video like all the way through, but they might watch maybe most of a 2-hour video, but they're not gonna watch most of a like 5-hour video. So statistically speaking, for the algorithm's sake, I'm better off ending this live stream and then starting up a new one. And in case I watch any videos that have like music in the background or something and it gets the video demonetized, I kind of don't want to have a bunch of random ass videos included in my response video because it might make it so it just gets the whole thing copyright struck, and that's not Gucci. So I'm gonna end the stream and start a new stream. So if you wanna tune in, tune in. If you don't. Doesn't matter to me. It's my ethical duty to do this. So doesn't matter what y'all do. invaded. I'll turn on TV. Oh, interesting. War. What is it good for? The economy. Fuck yeah. That's about it, though. Yeah, you know what? I might actually listen to some music and stuff after this, just because, I mean, we might, like, the next stream, we'll make sure. Nah, I know we're not going to risk copyright strike. I don't want a copyright strike. I think my last notification said, if you get copyright again, you will get a strike. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm kind of trying to avoid strikes a little bit. So I'm going to, as much as I want to play music and vibe with y'all, I'm going to keep my promise and keep this a fully FListic channel. So from now on, we're just watching FListings and responding. So yeah, I'm going to end it, and we're going to do some FList content. Goodbye. For now. For like 3 minutes.